Yeah, so growing up, my family and I went to church, mainly just on the holidays. I went to Vacation Bible School, helped out with different church events, and yeah, all of the good Christian things, but the Christian life kind of stopped there. Um, I grew up with two loving parents who encouraged and supported and provided for us kids in any way they could. I would say overall we looked like a pretty average, happy family on the outside, but later into my childhood, my dad struggled with alcoholism, which took a huge toll on our family when he ended up passing away in 2014 due to this addiction. Living in a small town where everyone knew everything, I found it my responsibility to become liked and approved in most everything that I did. I always attempted to achieve the best grades, be the best in sports, and mask all of my true emotions, feelings, and thoughts about different situations. I strove to be the kid who parents adored, who was involved in pretty much everything, who people turned to for advice, and who didn't really struggle with anything. In high school, I was in and out of relationship with the same guy. I attempted to find fulfillment in this relationship, in sports, in grades, but nothing was working. The relationship quickly became sexually impure. As an athlete, we didn't win as many games as I had hoped. My grades were fine, but I was never number one in my class. Temporary satisfaction in worldly things is a very real thing. I found myself happy and fulfilled for a little while, but was continually left broken and empty shortly after. I was never really involved in figuring out my faith until I moved to Ankeny for college. My roommates and I were invited to a back-to-school barbecue that Campus Fellowship was hosting at the Forge. I remember showing up, not really knowing what to expect. People kept coming up to me and trying to engage in conversation with me or through different activities. I remember thinking to myself afterwards that this experience was really nice, but also really weird. These people who barely knew me wanted to grow friendships with me and wanted to be in my life genuinely and intentionally. I had never experienced that kind of love before. Coming to college, what I thought I wanted to be was a part of the party scene, truly enjoying life with my friends without all of the responsibility. My first semester at college was truly a struggle. I was conflicted on what I wanted to pursue. I wanted to pursue both Campus Fellowship and also live a life that was according to my own desires. I was no longer in a relationship, so this is where I fell into other sexual sin, like pornography and masturbation. I would attend Campus Fellowship events and then go to parties with my friends. I wasn't completely into following the Lord, but also wasn't completely opposed. From the barbecue on, I had true friendships with people involved in Campus Fellowship. I worked out weekly with Caitlin Brim and read the Bible with Bryn Stone. These two played a huge impact on my Christian walk. Still in my freshman year, I remember contemplating going on the spring break mission trip, getting baptized, and really just which life I was going to pursue. I remember having a deep conversation one day with Keats and being told that I will have to choose at some point which life I'm going to live and that I couldn't live a lukewarm Christian life. That idea really convicted me and is backed up by part of Matthew 6:24, which states, "No one can serve two masters, since either he will hate one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other." I ended up deciding to go on the spring break mission trip, and it was such a great experience. A conversation that has been very influential to me was when Jordan Anderson and I were paired to share together. I'm pretty sure we only shared the gospel with other people once or twice before having a conversation of our own about what the cost of following Christ is and what that even means. What hope is in just a deeper conversation on what the gospel is and how it impacts your life. After breaking down in that conversation, I decided that truly following Christ was worth the commitment. I wouldn't say this was a ground-shaking, written in the stars moment that I had heard of in many other testimonies of people coming to faith, but I would say that it was a gradual process for me, and this is one of the most unforgettable times. I ended up getting baptized and deciding to truly commit to following the Lord in Florida. So why have I shared all of this with you, and how has that decision affected my life now? Many people have this idea, at least I did, that once you are saved, you no longer struggle, no longer have temptations, and no longer sin. But I'm here to tell you that that is false. It's a daily battle for me to surrender insecurities to the Lord and to trust in His control instead of my own. A continuous battle with comparison, not feeling good or worthy enough, feeling inadequate in my responsibilities, and even hypocritical in the way I live compared to what I believe sometimes. I am not perfect, and I continually have to remind myself to not act like I am. It's difficult for me to implement the lifestyle of Christ into my own life and to truly live a life that is honoring and glorifying to Him in every aspect of life through my words, actions, beliefs, and thoughts. A John Piper quote that I can relate to says this: "I can still pursue excellence and yet not be strangled and anxious because of all the insecurity and fear that I can't do enough to be loved. Life has been turned upside down, it's been turned on its head, and I'm free. It is only through Christ that I'm able to stand up here and share with you these things from my life. It is Christ who has clothed me in his own righteousness to be able to stand before the Father on Judgment Day and to know that I will be able to spend eternity in relationship with Him." A couple of weeks ago, here at Midweek, Jordan stated that we all have the same problem and the same solution, and that has really stuck with me. Our problem is our sin and that we live in a fallen world, but our solution is that we have a God who loves us, a God who sent His Son to live a perfect life and to die in our place on the cross. Jesus was crucified in my place and resurrected 3 days later, defeating sin and death, winning the battle for all. So to any of you who haven't put your faith and trust in Jesus, I encourage you to do so. And any of you who have, I just encourage you to be imitators of Christ instead of admirers only. So that's my testimony. And if anyone has any questions, you can find me after the service.